Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel Unyistitches. This channel will upload sewing tutorial, pattern drafting, sewing tips, sewing tricks, and sewing technique. If today is the first time of you seeing me, you're welcome to my channel and to my returning subscribers. Thank you so much for your support. So in today's tutorial, we want to learn how to cut and sew this beautiful gown that you see on the screen. So without wasting much of our time, let's go straight into the tutorial. So we will first draft the pattern before cutting it on our fabric. So my pattern is on full, as you can see, and I've gone ahead to do some of my markings on the pattern paper. So the first line that you see is my shoulder line, and the second one is my chest line, my bust line, under bust line, and half length. So I've marked my shoulder measurement divided by 2, and then I impute my neck, make use of neck width of 4 inches and neck depth of 3 inches. Then I slope my shoulder by 1.5 inches. Then I connect it to the chest line. The next thing now will be for me to mark my bust measurement, that is the bust circumference divided by 4 on the chest line. So I'll mark it down. Then I will come to the line that connects my shoulder slope and the chest line. I will mark half of that line. Then from that point, I will mark half inches toward my center front, as you can see me doing so. Then I will connect. You can use your free hand if you don't have your curve ruler. The next thing will be for me to impute my dart. So on my bust line, I'm going to mark my bust span measurement, divide by 2. I will mark same on my under bust line and the half length line. So I will go ahead and connect to have a straight line. So my dart intake, I'm going to make use of half inch towards my center front and 1 inch towards my side front. So I will go ahead and mark it down on my half length line and also on my under bust line. The next thing will be for me to use my curve roller and connect it from my under bust to my bust point, as you can see me doing so. The next thing will be for me to come to my shoulder line. I'm going to measure half of that shoulder line. Can you see? So I will mark half of it. Then I'm going to connect it with a straight line to the bust point. So the next thing will be for me to replot my neckline. So I will determine how deep that I want the neckline to be. So I will come down from the shoulder by 6 inches. Then I'm going to connect to form a straight line. And I'll go ahead and tighten my upper chest line using 0.5 on both sides of the line. That is 1 inch dart intake. Can you see? So I will connect it to the bust point. So now the next thing will be for me to go ahead and mark 2 inches on my shoulder line and also on my upper chest line. Then I will connect it with a straight line. The next thing will be for me to draw my sweetheart neckline. So I'm going to use my curve roller and draw the neckline. You can use freehand if you don't have a curve roller. Can you see? So that is my style line for the neckline. The next thing now will be for me to go ahead and impute all my horizontal measurement. So I will come to my chest line. I will measure the darts that I have there. So I will replace it, as you can see me doing so. Then I will go ahead and mark my waist measurement, divide by 4 on my half length line. Then I will add my 1.5 inches dart. Then I will connect it. So I'll go ahead and add my joining allowance to the skirt part. I'm using 1 inch. Then my side seam allowance, I want to make use of 2 inches. You can decide to add your allowance when cutting on your fabric. It's still okay. Then I'm going to impute my bust dart. So my bust dart will be the difference between my front and my back waistline. That is from the shoulder to the waistline. So the difference is 1.5. So I'm making that 1.5 as my bust dart. You can measure yourself, then whatever difference that you have, then you use it as your bust dart. So I'll go ahead now and cut my pattern. So I'll go ahead and close my bust dart as I'm cutting. So these are my front pattern. Can you see my center panel and my side panel? So for my side panel, I'm going to cut 2. Now let's draft the back pattern. So on my pattern paper, I've done some of my markings. The line here is my zipper allowance, and I've gone ahead to mark my shoulder line, my chest line, and the waistline. So I've marked my shoulder measurement divided by 2. I slope the shoulder by 1 inch for the back. Then I made use of 4 inches neck width and 1 inch neck depth. Then I connect straight from my shoulder slope to my chest line. So the next one will be for me to mark half of the line. That is the line from my shoulder slope to my chest line. I'll mark half of it. Then at that point, I'm going to come in by ½ inch towards my center front. Then I'll come to my chest line. I will impute my bust measurement starting from my zipper allowance. I will mark my bust measurement divided by 4, and then I'm going to connect my armhole cuff. Can you see? The next thing will be for me to go ahead and impute my waist measurement on the half length line. That is the waist circumference divided by 4. I will mark it down. Then I will impute my 1 inch dart. So I will connect it to my chest line. The next thing will be for me to impute my dart. And for me to do that, I'm going to come to my chest line. I will mark half of my bust span, that is nipple to nipple measurement. I'll mark it down. I'll mark seam on my half length line. Then coming to my chest line, I will come down by 1 inch, as you can see me doing so. Then I will connect from that 1 inch point. I will connect it to my waistline. Then I'm going to open up my dart by ½ inch on both sides of the line. Remember, we added 1 inch dart intake, so I will connect as you can see me doing so. The next thing will be for me to tighten the waistline to eliminate zipper bulging. So I will come to my waistline. I will mark 0.75 on that line. Then I will connect it straight to my neck width. Can you see? Then on that same waistline, I'm going to come up by 0.5. We'll go ahead and connect it to my dart leg. So I'll go ahead and replot my zipper allowance. I want to make use of 1.5 inches zipper allowance. So I will mark it down. So to draw my style line for the back pattern, I'm going to mark the same 2 inches as I did for my front. Then from my shoulder line, I'm going to come down by 6 inches, the same way we did for the front. On that line, I'm going to mark 2 inches. Then I'm going to connect it to the 2 inches on the shoulder line. So I'm going to use my curve roller and draw the neckline for the back. I'll go ahead and cut my pattern now. So I'm going to add my joining allowance and my side seam allowance when cutting on my fabric. So let's draft the skirt part of the gown. So I'm drafting both my front and my back pattern together. This is my waistline. The next line is my hip line. The next one is my waist knee line and my full length line. So now let's go ahead and mark all our horizontal measurement. I will start with the waist measurement, divide by 4 plus my 1 inch dart. I'll mark it for both my front and my back pattern. Mind you, all my measurement starts from my center, that is from the center back and also from my center front. The next one, I will mark my hip measurement, divide by 4 on both front and my back pattern. Then I will connect my point, that is from the waist line to my hip line. Then on my waist knee line, I'm going to mark the same hip measurement divided by 4, and I'll mark same on my full length line for both my front and my back. Then I'll go ahead and connect them. Then the next thing will be for me to impute my dart. I will mark my bust span measurement divided by 2. Then my dart for the back, I'm going to come down by 4 inches. Then I will connect my points. I'll go ahead and open my dart by 0.5 on each side of the line. Then I'm going to connect my dart leg. So I'll go ahead and impute my dart for my front pattern as well. So I will mark my bust span measurement, divide by 2 as well. Then I'm going to come down by 5 inches for the front pattern. I'll open up my dart by ½ inch on both sides of the line. The next thing will be for me to tighten my waist knee line to have the pencil loop. So I'm going to come in by 1.5 inches on my front pattern, on my waist knee line and also on my full length line. So I will connect it with a straight line, then I'll connect it to my hip line as well. Can you see? That is for the front. So I'm going to shade the part that is not needed. Then for my back, I'm going to divide the 1.5 inches into 2 equal parts. So on my waist knee line, I'm going to mark 0.75 on each side of the line, as you can see me doing so. I will do same on my full length line. Then I will connect my lines and I will draw it to my hip line. The next thing will be for me to go ahead and shape the waistline. Remember, for the upper bodies, we minus 0.75 from the waistline. So we will do same for the skirt part. I'll connect it to my hip line. Then I'm going to go ahead and mark my zipper allowance. The next thing will be for me to add my joining allowance on my waistline. That is joining allowance to the upper bodies. Also my hemming allowance. I want to make use of 2 inches hemming allowance, and I'm going to add my 2 inches as well for my side seam allowance. So the shading part, the part that I shade with purple color, will be the part that I'm going to cut out. So I'll go ahead now and cut my pattern. So this is my pattern set. I'll go ahead and cut it on my fabric. Look out for the part 2 of this tutorial, which we are going to sew this beautiful dress. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, share our video, and subscribe to our channel. Turn on your notification bell so that when I upload the sewing aspect of this tutorial, you'll be notified. See you on our next tutorial. Bye bye.